Greetings and salutations, everybody. I hate the fact that all this sun is in my face, but we're gonna make it do what it do as fast as we can. So, Real Housewives of Potomac, Part 4. Nicki Minaj killed it. I thought she was an incredible host. I loved every single minute of it because she asked the real down and dirty questions that has been on our minds for the longest. So it starts off. Oh, and by the way, I thought Nicki looked absolutely beautiful. I thought she looked gorgeous. I loved her outfit. I loved her pearls. I love the whole look. So it starts off with Ashley not having a storyline. So Nicki Minaj is like, Ashley, you really didn't have a storyline. You were just going around doing Giselle's biddings. Ashley tried to defend herself and said, look, I don't know if you know this or not, Miss Minaj, but I've been here for 6 years. There's a reason why they keep me here. I have my own storyline. I have my own life going on, and that is why I'm here. So no, I'm not Giselle's little maidservant doing her bidding. I have my own storyline going on, and the people love me. So then they talked about Juan and Michael Darby. So I loved it when Nicki asked the question. So because we all know that Michael Darby, well, I think she asked, is Michael Darby sexually attracted to Juan? And Robin admitted that, yeah, she thought that he was, that Michael is sexually attracted to Juan. And so then Nicki asked, well, why is it that if Juan understands this, why does he entertain a friendship with Michael Darby? And Robin and Ashley try to really play it down like, you know, they're just friends, there's nothing going on there. And Nicki Minaj was like, even if, why would a straight man want to entertain any kind of friendship with a man who finds him sexually attractive? And Nicki Minaj, I think, was trying to make a point by saying, the average black man would have cut that off, like immediately cut that off. There was just no way that friendship would have continued. And it was just also like, just on a general, in general, like if a person tells another person, hey, I would perform XYZ acts on you, and that person, both of them are married, that person would find it kind of disrespectful to their spouse to continue a relationship or a friendship with the solicitor of said activities. So I think that Nicki Minaj did make a good point about that, but Robin and Ashley were like, you know what? They're just homeboys. They're just friends. It's no big deal. You're putting way too much into it, Nicki. Okay, so then Nicki was asking about Robin and Juan's relationship. It seems like things have gotten a lot spicier between them. And Robin said that Juan does find her more attractive because she's doing her own thing. She's showing that she is the boss lady that she is. And so maybe this is a reason why Juan finds her more attractive now, but he doesn't find that laziness attractive. Then, so then Nicki Minaj also asked about how Gizelle and Robin, they kind of act as one person. Like if Gizelle says go, Robin's like, where? They are like one unit, because she gave one example by saying that in one of the episodes, Robin is asking Gizelle, so are we mad at Ashley now? And Nicki Minaj was like, why does it have to be we? Why can't you make up your own mind, of how you feel about whatever person or whatever topic? Why do you have to ask Gizelle, how we are supposed to feel? And Robin tried to defend herself by saying, well, I wasn't asking we as in me and Gizelle. I was asking we as in the group. Are we as a group not happy with Ashley? And it still was like, girl, nobody believes you. We all know that you were asking for Giselle's permission to figure out how you should move in this particular situation. Okay. Then Nicki was asking about Robin and Gizelle lovers, and that was like a light little topic. No, they're not lovers, but they are really close friends, whatever. And so they were joking back and forth about that. And then they were also joking about they joked about a menage a trois with Mia. Was it Mia? Mia, Robin, and Ashley. And then all of a sudden, Candace threw herself in it. And I was like, what? Why is Candace throwing herself in this? But anyway, so they're making fun about, the whole insinuations about Robin and Gizelle. So that was fun. Then Nicki Minaj focuses in on Gizelle. And she turns to Gizelle and she's like, so Gizelle, you are strikingly gorgeous. And you know this. And Gizelle was like, yes, 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 yes. I know this. Yes, I am strikingly gorgeous. Yes. And then Nicki Minaj came with do you feel like your beauty is fading at all? And Giselle was like, everybody was like taken aback about that. I thought that was hilarious. And so this is, of course, is going back to the whole thing, a whole conversation that she had with Ray, you know, about how she needs to hurry up and find a husband because her beauty's fading and so on and so forth. And, you know, what is she going to do when she gets old and doesn't have the beauty anymore? And her response to Ray about, you know, you'll be 6 feet under before this beauty fades. Nicki Minaj was implying that maybe you said that out of hurt. You know, you were talking like that out of hurt. And Joe was like, yeah, you know, I probably did. And you know, she should have worded her response a little bit differently. And then they asked her about her and Jamal, and Nicki Minaj asked her, would you give Jamal a second chance? And Gizelle said yes. I was like, what? She said yes. She said that she would give him a second chance and that things are different now and that Jamal sees her differently because she's on a more equal footing with him than it was before. So as far as like power goes, they're more equal now, like especially financial power. They're a little bit more equal now, where before, you know, she was dependent on Jamal 100%. I'm just surprised that she said she would go back to that man after he, you know, all the infidelities and children and hypocrisy of it all, that she would go back to a man like that. That's very shocking. That says a lot about Gizelle more than it says about Jamal. Then Nicki Minaj focused in on your girl Karen, which was like a little, she asked Karen, so when Gizelle was coming for you and said that she was going to reveal all of your truths, your money truths, your drinking truth, and do you feel like that you proved your point that that's not what she wanted to do? That was not the direction that she wanted to take. And of course, you know, Karen said yes. She put Gizelle in her place after that. And then Robin said, well, the things that Karen says were all, the things that Karen said to Gizelle, like about her, what did she call it? A hot pocket? A hot pot or whatever? Insinuating that Gizelle had an STD and, you know, Gizelle is all this and that. All that stuff was made up. It was lies. It wasn't proven to be true. Whereas the things that Gizelle had said about Karen was actually based on facts. And that was enough about Karen. Then they go to Mia. So they talked about Mia and her mom. And Nicki said that, you know, the segments with you and your mom were probably one of my favorite scenes because it was so raw and it was so real. And Nicki asked her, so how did you feel when your mom told you that sometimes you get on her nerves because you act just like your father? And Mia said, yeah, it does hurt her when her mom says that. And Nicki was like, well, you need to check that. You need to make sure that she doesn't say things like that to you, because amongst all the shade and all the funny stuff that y'all do on the show, we also have to, what did she say? We also have to heal ourselves as women. And I thought Nicki made a wonderful point about that, because all these women, yes, it's all fun and it's, you know, how they drag each other and how shady they get with each other and all of this and that. Yeah, it's all fun and games, but yes, these women also have real problems. They're going through real issues, and it's like a ray of sunshine when they're able to address these problems, the problems that we all face, that we all have, and they're able to resolve them and try to move forward and try to heal from them. Because at the same time, we as an audience, we are also learning. I'm not saying that you should get all your therapy from reality TV, but when you're watching reality TV for the fun of it, you know, just for some, you know, just for entertainment purposes, it's nice when you get little nuggets of reality, and they can possibly reach out to someone and help someone, because they reach so many people. Moving on from that, so then they talked about okay, so she says Mia says she's working on her relationship between her and her mom. And then Nicki asked Mia, Ashley, and Karen, if you already had $100 million in your bank account when you met your husbands, would you still have married them? I thought that question was brilliant. Ashley said no, she wouldn't have. Okay, we believe that. That's understandable. Karen said that when she met her husband, he moved her soul, and she had to have her some raise, so she would have married him regardless. The money would have been the icing on the cake, but she would have married him regardless. I still don't see how this man moved her soul. I have no issues with Ray. I have no issues with Ray and Karen's marriage. but I don't see how he moved her soul. I want to know, Karen, how did Ray move your soul? What did he say? What did he do? Because he just seems like a regular guy, a regular businessman who was, I guess, very successful, had a lot of money. But how did he move your soul? Maybe that bank account moved your soul. And so then they asked Mia the same thing, and Mia said hands down she would have married Gordon. I don't believe that for a second. So Nicki Minaj then asked, she asked Mia, does it make you feel good when other women's husbands find you attractive? And I forgot if she answered that question directly. And then then her and Wendy go back and forth about that. The thing with Eddie, how Eddie could look at her in the eye when they first met. I guess because Mia believes that Eddie found her so unbelievably beautiful. Like his eyesight couldn't take it. He's gonna go blind by her beauty. And she said that Wendy gave off some really, strong, insecure energy. And I think Wendy kind of does it too much. This whole thing of feeling like she has to have this really tight hold on her husband and tell him who to look at, who not to look at, what answers to give when they're just playing a game. I think she kind of goes too hard. But we'll get to Wendy later. So then Nicki Minaj turns her attention to Wendy. And she asks Wendy, this is what she started off by saying. She says, when I watch your commentary, it just really, it's just so moving. She said something really complimentary about her commentary, I think on CNN. When I watch you give commentary, it's just it's so moving. It's so wonderful. So how the hell did you get into candles? And she said it almost just like that. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. And Nicki said it was a bit odd for you to go from commentary to candles. So people were kind of wondering, is Wendy okay? This sudden switch, what's going on here? Wendy never really asked that because Wendy never really answered that question because Nicki then said that when Ashley asked you about that, her approach was wrong, but it needed to be said. And then Gizelle butted in and said, thank you. And then Wendy says, don't say thank you because you were still wrong. And so Wendy says something about, if these women had if they were so curious about why I did what I did, all they had to do was come and ask instead of having all of these little secret conversations about it behind my back. And Robin and Giselle and maybe a couple of other women were like, well, we did try to ask. And I think they did try to ask her, like, what is this new change in Wendy? And if I can recall correctly, I may be wrong, but I think Wendy was very defensive in her answers. She was kind of like, I don't really remember, but I get the feeling that she was very like, oh, it's my right to do this. I can do whatever I want, or something to that effect. I could be wrong, but she was defensive when she answered. And so they were kind of like, they backed off. They were like, okay, we're not going to touch that subject again. And then, so Wendy never asked the question that Nicki posed as far as what made you go from commentary to candles, because I still don't understand that. I mean, of all things, why candles? At one point, it was revealed that Eddie was following booty models on Instagram. And so Wendy said that's not true. The blogs were wrong about that, that her husband does not follow any booty models. But they showed a screenshot of how many people he followed before the story hit and then how many people Eddie followed after the story hit. And there was like a significant decrease. Like he deleted all those booty models per his wife. And I kind of have an issue with like how Wendy puts her marriage on this really high pedestal, because we all know the old saying, the harder they are, the harder they fall, or the higher they are, the harder they fall, or something to that effect. She puts this marriage and she puts her husband on such a damn pedestal that it's like, I want to tell Wendy, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. You don't have to try so hard to prove that your husband is perfect, your marriage is perfect, that, all these women want what you have. You don't have to go so hard like that. It is what it is. Because if anything should happen, if he should cheat on you, the embarrassment that you're going to have and the beating that you're going to take from the public is going to be merciless. Okay? It's going to be merciless. So just calm down on that. If your husband is all this in a bag of chips, that's only for you to know. You don't want to advertise how wonderful your husband is, because the barracudas are going to come out hard and strong, and one of them might be good enough, bad enough to tempt him away from you. So Wendy, chill on that. So the question was, did she get her plastic surgery? Did she get her butt done specifically to compete with the booty models? And Wendy said no. She says, even after my work, I still cannot compete with the booty models. Said no, her plastic surgery had nothing to do with that. And she said that she doesn't know who Eddie follows and she doesn't care who Eddie follows. Then Nicki turned her attention to Candace and she was like, your mom is a bit much. Okay, so what are you doing to control that, to put a muzzle on that? Because your mom is out of control. She is saying whatever just to destroy your husband. And she's doing this for the whole world to see. And are you doing anything to shut her up? And Candace was like, yes, it is affecting our marriage. The stuff that happens on the show is spilling into our marriage. And Nicki asked her again, are you checking your mother on this? And Candace says, well, I don't want to disrespect my mom on camera. But she's disrespecting your husband on camera. Okay, you chose to be with this man. You chose to commit to this man. You chose to, give your life to this man, start this life together with this man, and your mom was doing everything to destroy it, and you can't do nothing about it. So I personally do feel like that, before I go into what I feel like, Nicki said, this could potentially lead to divorce. If you were to have children with this man, this could destroy your children's lives, y'all getting a divorce because your mom cannot control her mouth. And I think Karen said, I had a conversation with Miss Dorothy, and I tried to tell Miss Dorothy that she needed to tone it down a little bit for the sake of Candace, for the sake of her daughter, and that she doesn't. And Karen said that if she continues to constantly beat Chris up publicly like this, that she's going to end up actually losing her daughter in the process. And Wendy chimed in and said that her mom, I guess her and her mom had the same conversation, and her mom said that there was no way that I would ever disrespect my son-in-law on national TV. Whatever issues I have, we would take care of that in private, not on TV like that, because Miss Dorothy is a gazillion% wrong in what she's saying about Chris. Now, unless Chris is like physically harming your daughter, like abusing her, whatever's going on between y'all in that household, keep it to yourselves. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like Dorothy is still somehow financially supporting Chris and Candace. I think there's still some type of financial support. I don't think it's as much as it used to be. I don't think she's paying their mortgage or anything, but I think she's helping out somehow, because what other reason? Why else would she have this freedom to talk so bad about Chris? Maybe in Dorothy's mind, she's like, you're not taking care of my daughter the way I would like for you to take care of my daughter, because I always have to step in and come to the rescue. So yeah, I'm a dog you out. I'm a dog you out wherever I want to dog you out, whether there's cameras there or not, number one. Number two, and maybe that's why Candace feels like she really can't go too hard on her mom, because maybe her mom is helping them financially. So she because when she was like, she told Nicki, well, maybe my mom won't listen to me, but she'll listen to you. Why? Why do you want a stranger to come talk to your mom about personal issues? You need to talk to your mom. That's your mama. These are your problems. You need to handle it. So then we go to Candace's song. So Nicki asked, she asked the women, and she specifically asked Mia and Karen. They didn't get to the other women. She asked them, how successful did you all think Candace's song would be? Mia said she gave it like a -2. Karen said a 9. And then when she got clarification on the question of, how successful did you think the song would be, not what you thought of the song, Karen then dropped it down to 5. So Candace said that she's had 500,000 streams. And then Nicki kind of looked at her kind of like credulous, kind of crazy. Nicki's facial expressions during this segment was off the wall. So, Wendy said that, she charted on Billboard, which is amazing. And Nicki was like, you charted on Billboard? And Candace said that she was number 24 on Billboard, and then for R&B, and she was number 4 on iTunes. And then Gizelle was like, she asked the question, is that good in the music industry or what? And I think Mia was like, no, it's actually terrible. And I didn't see how. 24 on Billboard as a new artist who wasn't signed, because Candace made it a point to say, and I'm not even signed. So she didn't have a big record company behind her to push this music out. She did this completely independently and on her own. So yeah, it is extremely amazing that she charted on Billboard at all, and that she charted as high as she did. And even her streams, 500,000 streams on iTunes, to me, that's blockbuster. for a new artist without a big music group behind her, a music company behind her. But the whole time, you know, Nicki Minaj was kind of listening to all of this, like she kind of didn't believe it. And so Nicki asked her about album sales, not just the single that you dropped, but your whole entire album. And she said that she had 20,200. First of all, the women gave her a hard time about her not knowing the numbers right off the top of her head, because she really couldn't answer the question initially when she was asked. And so they were all like, especially Mia, was like, well, don't you know this? Don't you know this? Don't you know the answer? And then Candace was like, well, I just got the information yesterday. And then Mia's like, well, then you should know. If you just got it yesterday, then you should know. So she pulls out her phone, she looks at her phone, and she says she sold 20,212 albums. And Nicki was like, okay. Kind of like she didn't believe her. And I didn't understand, like why Nicki found that so hard to believe, that this album or this song could have done so well. It's a good song. It's a really good song. And so then Nicki asked her, so like if your manager was going to go to like a big record company and was trying to like, you know, sell you to them, what would be the biggest selling point about you? And then Candace said it would be her vocals, which of course in the music industry, yeah, we kind of need that, you know, some good vocals. And then Nicki she kind of threw shade at her and said, but you know, I've listened to your stuff and a lot of your stuff is auto-tuned. And Candace admits that yes, she does use auto-tune, like who the hell doesn't? And then Nicki was like, well, bust it out a cappella. And for whatever crazy reason, Candace was so hesitant to bust it out a cappella. Like, girl, you said that your best selling point is your vocals. Well, let's hear the vocals. Give us the vocals. So because she was so hesitant, the women were giving her like a really hard time. Especially me. I was like, just sing, just sing. And then Gizelle was like, what the hell is your problem? Just sing this damn song. And then Candace was like, let me think of a gospel song. And then Gizelle was like, what? Sing your own stuff. Sing your own music, your own work. You have another opportunity here to promote your music. Every chance you get, you need to sing your stuff, promote your music so that your album can sell and you can make money and get off of Dorothy's teat. So she did sing. I don't know why she hesitated, because she sounded amazing. She sounded so good. So she sang her song and it was wonderful. It was really good. And then Mia said she had to go tinkle. So they took a break. And when they took a break, Chris came out and he goes directly to Candace. He made a beeline to Candace. And he was just really upset about how Nicki was questioning her. I mean, Nicki was going hard on everybody. And even Candace told her husband, look, it's just not me. She's going hard on all of us. And that's what she's there for. You know, what do they call them? The Barbs wanted to get to the bottom of all of this mess. So she had to give the Barbs what they asked for. So she was going hard on, she went hard on Ashley. She went hard on all of them, Mia, all of them. And I don't know why Chris was upset. So then Andy came out, and I guess he overheard, you know, how Chris was talking to Candace, like, you know, he was really upset. And so Andy was trying to calm him down and said, look, what you need to concentrate on, my dude, is the fact that your wife killed it with that song and everybody cheered her. She brought the house down. And why are you mad? Because it's just more money for you. And so they all had tequila and they toasted to bad bitches and Andy Conda. So that is my review of this final part of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. And I thought Nicki Minaj did great. They need to bring her back out. They need to bring her they should have had her for Beverly Hills. But yeah, Nicki Minaj was awesome. I don't think I've missed anything really major. You know, they had that whole conversation about Mia and the sex industry, the sex work. And I don't like how they shade sex workers, because that's a real job. They're making real money. And I don't understand why people have to shade them. It is what it is. As long as it's not trafficking or any kind of sex slavery, you know, some women got to do what they got to do, and it's perfectly okay. They file taxes like everybody else. You know, whatever. So other than that, this was a really good reunion. I really enjoyed it. Nicki Minaj, I give her a 5 out of 5. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye. Got to go back to work.